the Relentless conversation, which is the most interesting one for those of us who care about the centre-right of Australian politics and those who would like a change to the government when we get our next opportunity. Sadly, that's not until 2028, but still. The endless battle for the opinion polls between the new leader of the Liberal Party, Pauline Hanson, who's been around for 30 years, and she will, of course, be going for her third term in the Senate at this upcoming election, and Anthony Albanese, who thinks if he does nothing, he'll end up winning 110 seats. Now, as you know, the opinion polls have shown us here that One Nation is now somewhere in the early to mid-20s, depending on your poll. But let's do a little comparison here, a little temperature check. Again, the Resolve poll, a sort of centre-left media organisation, is responsible for it. But as you can see, the Labor Party, while it is up 1 in the last 2 weeks, it's down 3 from the election. The LNP might be up 3 in the past 2 weeks, but it's down 9 since the last election. One Nation comes off a 24-point high in this poll, but that's up 17 points since the last election. No real movement in the Greens. Margin of error stuff when it comes to the independents and the others, which include, among others, the old trumpeter Patriots, which apparently won't be running around at the next election. Clive Palmer's already said that he's out when it comes to running another political movement. He said that before, but they, of course, have gone from 5 down to -3 at 5 right now. Now, interestingly, despite the fact that it is, 2-ish years until a full-term election, and there's some speculation amongst parts of the lefty media that we may not have an election going that far. We could have one as early as the second half of next year when that becomes a viable option, and depending on how the polls sit, the government might want to go for an early election, hoping that the mess on the centre-right of Australian politics will mean more seats for them. Can you believe, though, that 3/4 of people have already made up their mind? They are committed to their vote already. 74% of people. Now, interestingly, when this opinion poll comes out, and we got this opinion poll for you first last night, so I know lots have glommed onto it today, as they should, but there's comments that are given to the pollsters which are also published with the poll. Here's a selection. I've always voted Liberal, but now I'm questioning their direction and effectiveness. There's too much migration, full stop. The country's pretty stuffed. Maybe the Libs or Pauline Hanson can do better. I'm thinking of changing because the current government aren't doing enough to help struggling people. Hallelujah. Labor are just taunting the coalition. They should be looking at migration and inflation. That's interesting because, of course, we know that the government is basically sort of playing attack by just pointing at the other people, but the problems are all gathering on their watch. Pauline Hanson, the best leader I can see right now. Quality of life always seems to move backwards under the major parties. Time for something new. It could be a Teal voter, or it could be somebody moving towards One Nation, or, even technically the Greens. I'm sick of the same old promises and nothing getting done off the back of them. No giant surprise there.